Hey, what up, guys? So coming to you with another first quarter top 10. Want to jump into the 126-pound featherweight division. We're going to take a look at the top 10 there. Let's look at the couple guys that are out of the top 10 from the beginning of the year. First up is Joseph Diaz Jr. He was previously 7th. He dropped out simply because he moved up officially to 130 pounds, where he's actually a top 5 guy up there. Diaz is a serious threat to get in line for possibly a title shot by the end of the year. There's talks of him and Scott Quigg getting together. So it should be good. Should be a good year for Joseph Diaz. He already got a win in February on a DAZN card, beating a little-known fighter. Also out of it is former IBF champion Lee Selby. He previously was number 9. He had been talking about moving up to lightweight. He finally did in February. He got a win at the lightweight limit, and now is officially a 135-pounder, moving up 9 pounds in between fights. So congrats to him on that win. He drops out now. So let's take a look at the top 10. We start with number 10. He stays number 10, and that is former WBA regular champion Jesus Rojas. Well, Rojas came into the year as champion in January. He defended the title against Shu Kan, a Japanese fighter, or Chinese fighter, actually, I'm sorry. And it was a good, close, hard-fought battle between the two. A lot of people, though, ringside included, felt that Rojas deserved the decision, but it went the other way. Kan got a unanimous decision in this one, and became the and took the title from Rojas. Rojas since has talked about a rematch. Haven't heard anything about that. That's where he stands for now. So hopefully we hear something soon. Coming in number 9 is the new WBA regular champion, Shu Kan, from China. Came out of nowhere, pulled off the upset. Again, no talks of a rematch as of yet that I've heard of. I mean, it could, of course, it could happen at any time. He previously was not ranked, so he cracks into the top 10. Congrats to him on that one. It was a good, close battle. I personally didn't watch the whole fight, so I can't pass judgment on the actual score, but I watched, for the most part, was coming in and out of the room, and I felt like it was a really close, hard-fought battle. And it looked like it could have went either way, especially with the numbers, too. The numbers said that. So just a close bout. You don't know, who deserved to win that one or not, but that's he finishes number 9. Finishing number 8 right now is top contender Tug Nyambayar. This guy's a Mongolian fighter. He previously was not ranked. He actually took on Claudio Marrero, who's a good, solid featherweight, and he outworked Marrero, who's a tough fighter, and got a 12-round unanimous decision. It was an eliminator. He's now the WBC's #1 ranked contender, which puts him in line for Gary Russell Jr. Puts him in line for Gary Russell Jr., which would be an interesting fight because Tug Nyambayar is a very good fighter, and we just got to wait and see. He knocked out Oscar Escandon last year, so that put him floating right around the top 10, and then a win over a good, solid featherweight like Claudio Marrero and other guys moving out of the top 10 helped him, so he's number 8 now, and hopefully we hear good things about him going forward. Next at number 7 is former 122-pound champion Scott Quigg. Now, Quigg is technically supposed to return April 26th, but there's a lot of talks right now about him against Joseph Diaz Jr. or possibly even Tevin Farmer for the IBF super featherweight title. Personally, he only fought one time last year at 130, and he hasn't officially, in my opinion, moved up to 130 yet. If he fights his next fight, which could be this month, at 130 pounds, then I'm taking him out of the top 10 here. But considering it was only one fight, and that fight he wasn't clear that he's officially moving up in weight because he's still talking to featherweights about possibly fighting them like Carl Frampton, I'm keeping him at 126 for now, but he could move up. But Scott Quigg looks like he's got good fights on the horizon, and I really hope he gets one of those. They were talking about him and Joseph Diaz on the Canelo-Danny Jacobs undercard, which would be a really good fight. Okay, next at number 6 is former 3-division world champion Abner Mares. He originally was number 6. He stays here. He was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis in February. He ended up getting injured. He said it was an elbow injury, but it ended up being a detached retina, which is a career-threatening type injury. He says he's okay to train again, and right now he's back in training. We don't know when he's going to return. He hasn't fought since June of last year when he lost the decision to Leo Santa Cruz in their rematch. I like Mares. I think 130 is a mistake for him. I've said that from the beginning. But especially Gervonta Davis, the guy is just a beast. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what he does next. I really think anything can come out of him. I don't think he's afraid of any challenge now that he was willing to face Davis. And we'll see what happens, but hopefully we hear something soon. Now, next at number 5 is undefeated WBO champion Oscar Valdez. He previously was number 5. He remains there. Valdez returned to action after, about 11 months off. He took on, what was the guy's name? Some unknown guy named Tomasoni or something like that, and he dominated this fight. Scored a vicious 6th-round knockout, really good knockout on February 2nd, holding on to his title. I personally think Valdez is getting Carl Frampton next. He's going to be defending the title against him. I think that could take place in June, possibly July. And, yeah, I really think this fight's going to happen. There was talks of this fight happening last year to unify belts if he would have beaten Josh Warrington. He didn't, but Frampton has made it clear that he still wants to continue his career. So we're going to see what happens. But, yeah, personally, I think these two guys are going to lock horns next. And I really hope they do, because I think that'd be a very good fight. And it's almost a pick'em fight, you know, and be a career-defining fight for Oscar Valdez, too. So we'll see what happens there. But that's what's going on with him. Next at number 4 is former 2-division world champion Carl Frampton. He decided that he does want to resume his career. And there was talks earlier on about him possibly facing Leo Santa Cruz for a 3rd time, or Oscar Valdez for the WBO title. But we kind of saw which way he's leaning when he signed with Top Rank. Actually his promoter, Frank Warren, signed a co-promotional deal with Top Rank Boxing. So it looks like, you know, since Oscar Valdez is with Top Rank, it looks very likely that these two guys are going to be locking horns. So I really hope that fight gets announced and that's what happens. Next and still number 3 is reigning WBC champ Gary Russell Jr. Really don't know. I heard the guy's in training. He wanted to come back. I heard he wanted to fight 3 times. A lot of different rumors, nothing concrete, and nothing's come from it. So, still disappointed. It looks like he's not going to be fighting again for over a year in between fights. And I just don't know what the hell the problem is. Why he can't stay busy and at least fight his mandatories and stuff. But there's talks about him and Leo Santa Cruz, especially now that Frampton, as we said, signed with Top Rank and is leaning towards the Oscar Valdez fight. Maybe Santa Cruz faces him. Maybe he moves up in weight and takes on Gervonta Davis. I just want to see him back in the ring, because I think, personally, for me, he's the best fighter at featherweight right now. But how long is that going to last with him being so inactive? So we'll see. Hopefully we hear something soon. And then next at number 2, or still number 2, is the undefeated IBF champion Josh Warrington. He was supposed to face Kid Galahad, his mandatory #1 contender, around April or May. It got pushed back a little bit due to an injury. Now he's going to face Kid Galahad on June 15th. And I believe that's going to be on the undercard of Tyson Fury when he returns and fights for his first time under the Top Rank contract a co-promotional Top Rank contract that he signed. So that should be good. I think Warrington should beat Galahad. I guess he beat him in the amateurs before. I haven't seen Galahad fight. He definitely doesn't have the resume that Warrington has. I think Warrington's going to ride that out, beat him, and retain his world title. And then finally, still number 1, is the reigning WBA super champion, Leo Santa Cruz. He returned in February. He took on Rafael Rivera, who was a game fighter, but just not on the same skill level as Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz dominated the action. It was a decent scrap, but he couldn't finish him. He scored a unanimous decision over 12 rounds, retained his world title. We don't know what direction he's going in next. There's talks of him moving up fighting Gervonta Davis, talks of him and Gary Russell. There was talks about him and Carl Frampton, but Frampton signed with Top Rank. So really don't know which direction he's going in next. But damn, I hope he comes back at some point and fights somebody good and quick, a quick turnaround, because he didn't really seem like he struggled with Rivera. And, it doesn't need to be an 8-month swing like most of his fights have been in between. He needs to stay active. I think part of that, though, is his dad having cancer, though, too, of why he's been so inactive, and I get that. I remember Robert Guerrero was the same way. I really do get that. It's just hate to see a guy of his talent go to waste, So hopefully he gets back in the ring, and he'll be good. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. True Boxing, been hit with the truth.